Hi, I'm Jerry Carter with the Sierra Crest Business Law Group. I want to talk today to people who have lost a loved one, and the loved one had a will, and they put you in charge as the executor of the will, and now you're being criticized by a family member over how you're handling the will. So this is a tough situation because you're dealing with a family member and you have a history with this family member who's criticizing you. And there are certain parts about your relationship that you just hated. And now that you've lost a loved one, say a parent or a spouse, all those problems in the relationship with your family member have just been compounded by the fact that everybody's feeling grief. Also, there's a lot at stake. If you are the executor under the will and you don't do a good job, then you're going to get criticized by the court. The family member who's complaining is going to own you, and you're probably going to lose your inheritance. On the other hand, if you do a good job, then you're going to have the court approve your work, and the decision of your loved one to put you in charge will be validated. And what's more, you're going to own your family member. I mean, they're going to think twice about criticizing you again if you go through the probate process and show that you did a good job. So with that in mind, I want to talk about 4 things that you can do right now to get control of the situation and do a good job as executor of the will and fend off any challenges and criticism from your family members. The first thing you want to do is you need to get control of the documentation. And by that, I mean, if there's a will, you need to get a copy of the will, you need to get a copy of any changes to the will, and if you can't actually get the copy in your hands, you at least need to take a picture of it. I mean, if someone shows it to you, pull out your phone and take a copy of it because you need to have that at your fingertips. One thing you should know is that sometimes when you're looking at a will today and everybody's cooperative, tomorrow may come and you may not have a copy of that will and it might disappear. So at the earliest possible chance, get control, get a copy, and better yet, just take control of the original. Number 2 is you also need to get control of the assets that your loved one left behind, bank accounts, cars, other property. And you can only go so far before you start the court process, but you want to know what there is and do your best to safeguard it. You may have family members who try to subvert you or block your access to those things, and so the quicker you can get control of the things that your loved one left behind, the better. The third key to doing a good job and fending off challenges from family members is that you want to get pre-approval for everything you do. There's a process for taking care of a will of a loved one, and oftentimes, depending on the amount that's in the estate, you need to go to court and get pre-approval before you sell property, before you make major decisions. That's there to protect you as the executor. And so make it a priority not to do anything big, not to sell anything, not to do anything until you have advance approval for your protection. The fourth item is you need to get together a team that will help you do a good job. One thing that people don't often realize is that when they're put in charge of administering a will, they're allowed to hire accountants, attorneys, auctioneers, whoever else may help them to do a good job. And so given that, you want to do a good job and you don't want to just go solo when you have the option of getting a team together to give you advice. You don't need to be the accountant, you don't need to be the attorney and make all the legal calls. You just need to pull together a team and recognize that the probate process will pay those team members and protect you in the process. So listen, I understand what a difficult situation you're in. Having lost a loved one, there's going to be a lot of grief that's experienced, and I can only imagine how that is affecting you personally. In addition, if you take all the criticism and quarreling and put that on top, then it's a confusing situation. It can feel overwhelming. Please give us a call so we can help walk you through the process and protect you from criticisms from your family members and how you're handling the will.